Well, good morning and welcome to this edition of Andre the Podcast. I'm Andre Lacey, and this is our very first show here on the Alive Podcast Network. I want to thank you all for joining me as we go on this new journey with each other, and I invite you all to join us each and every Tuesday and Thursday as we have important conversations with newsmakers and everyday people about the topics that you're talking about. Today we're talking about Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. June is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, excuse me. And today I've invited some brothers of mine to come on and talk about what's been going on in their lives, how they managed to have a career, be with their families, and just juggle life as we all continue to grow as men, black men specifically. I have Johnny Hill and BJ Gibbs joining me today. Brothers, I appreciate y'all for being here.
Most terrible. Appreciate you for having me for sure.
Hey, Andre, man, I appreciate you for having me on, man.
Sir.
And thank you just for the opportunity. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm glad to have y'all here. So, as I just mentioned, we're all professionals. We have careers. We've all done some form of media, and we are thriving in our careers and in life. My first question to both of you is, how are you both doing mentally during this month of Men's Mental Health Awareness Month?
You go ahead, Jay Hill. Go ahead.
Okay, I would say right now, mentally how I'm doing, it's like, y'all know this, man. I moved from Detroit to back to Mississippi, and my mentalness, like I am happy, but I do have a little nervousness about the unknown. You know what I'm saying? What does it look like me coming back here? You know, I got a couple of offers here and there coming back. But also not feeling like I failed. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it's easy for me to feel like, oh man, I went to Detroit, but man, it didn't pan out, so I failed. But in reality, I didn't fail at anything. My station just went under, and some things you just can't control. So this month, bro, have really just been a month really trying to get to it, and also like just trying to enjoy everything. My family, my friends, everybody who's supporting me, my support system, everybody connected to me. So I just been in a mental space of just trying to adjust. That's what I've been in.
That's good, twin. That's good. I know it's been a challenge. You and I have talked about your journey back home. What's next for you? What was next for me prior to landing this gig? And everything's gonna work out for a reason in this season because we're both talented. Me, you, BJ, all three of us are talented. We worked hard. We've been able to grow and go places that we possibly never imagined or thought that would happen this young in our journey. But I believe that both of you will continue to grow and will continue to be the men that God have created you both to be. And I just can't say that enough. I want to read some statistics for you, just in case those of you who aren't aware of what happens, particularly when it comes to adult men during this month of Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. Now, according to the National Institute of Mental Health, nearly 20% of adult men in the US experience a mental health condition in a given year. Also, a study shows that over 6 million men in the US experience depression annually, often going undiagnosed. This is a study according to the National Institute of Health. Now, just reading those brief statistics, I think so often, especially in the Black community, we we don't really prioritize going to therapy or seeking professional help because it's kind of put down, as something that's not okay, or you might come off as weak, or you can't, handle some of the things that life brings to us. My question to both of you is how have you been able to keep yourself strong during some of the most difficult times? And what is your opinion or your advice to those who believe that going to counseling or therapy is for the weak?
I'll take this, Jay Hill, first off. Really, bro, what's kept me strong, bro, is being vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? Like, um, I'm super young. Sometimes I forget that. Like, I just turned 23 a few days ago, and so and me be so young for me to have all the responsibilities that I do have that are given to me at such an early age. I know God didn't make mistakes, and so I had to realize that there's no reason for me to do this alone. Like it takes a village, with my family, with my job, my friends. It's just everything trying to balance everything, and there's no reason for me to try to put it all on my shoulders. And that's what I used to do. And the thing that helped me out the most is saying those three magic words to my mom's one day. I was like, I need help. You know what I'm saying? Like as simple as that. I need help, and that took me so far. I used to feel like you're saying, Andre, like I felt as if I shouldn't need help. You know, a lot of times, I feel like in the black community, we sometimes always has this, oh, somebody always had the worst mentality, and that may be true. That's not saying, that that's not true, but everybody has their own battles, their day to days. Everybody I feel like needs something, no matter how rich you are, no matter how happy one part of your life is. Everybody feels like they're missing something, and it's not a bad thing. I used to try to cope with these different emotions and try to hide them or whatever, but they ain't going nowhere until you address them. I felt like when I moved to Memphis and everything from Arkansas that the problems that I had in Arkansas were just gonna go away just because I went across the bridge, but that wasn't the case at all. This it's gonna catch you one way or another. You may think that it's gone, but I used to have to ask myself like, yo, BJ, like, is you happy or are you distracted from sadness? You know what I'm saying? And so until I became really content with a whole lot of things and I've grown a lot and allow people to kind of come into my life that want to be there and want to support me, that took me so far, bro. So for anybody at all who's contemplating asking for help, it doesn't have to be just a therapist. Because some people think, oh, I got the money to do so. Not all therapists have that title of a doctor or a PhD. I know we have each other. I know I can call Johnny, call Andre, and be like, hey, bro, it's a lot going on. Can I speak to you for 10, 15 minutes? And that 10, 15 minutes can last however long I need it to be. It can be, 2 hours if I need it to be, but I know I can call on people and have those people be my therapist. For me, if that just don't work for you sometimes, I start writing in journals, and start opening my prayer book, writing in there every single day, and kind of just releasing it somehow, some way. But man, don't let that stuff build up, man. It ain't healthy because it's going to eventually come out one way or another, whether you like it or not.
It's true. That's so true, Johnny.
I completely agree with BJ. People don't understand like a lot of things that people be going through. You know what I'm saying? So BJ talked about he being young, but he have a lot of responsibility. You know what I'm saying? He got to take care of his son. You know what I'm saying? And new environment. He might know a lot of people, but he don't got his real family in that environment. And people don't understand that. Even though they're across the bridge, I dealt with something similar to BJ. Um, being in Detroit alone, no family, no friends. Well, I have a small amount of friends. I won't say no friends at all. But adjusting yourself, right? When something goes left, like not being employed, not doing nothing, and your rent is still due, you have a chance of being homeless. And that thought start pivoting from, oh man, I want to be in my field too. I need to get a job, any job, so I can pay my bills. And it get real quick. And it get hard for me. And I do still ask God for help of me expressing myself. Like really asking people, man, God help me like to express myself to people, because I never I'm not used to being vulnerable with people. You know what I'm saying? Unless like we really become real close, like I trust BJ, I trust Andre, like I can trust, like I can call y'all, But a lot of times, how I be feeling, sometimes I don't want to put my burden or what or on somebody else. You know what I'm saying? And that's a hard thing I still struggle with. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times I had to get out. My brother, I call him my brother, but like we've been close ever since we was young. Isaiah, I tell Zay all the time, I'm like, man, bro, I need just a convo, bro, just to chop it up, because he like, man, you're gonna be good despite what happened. You're gonna be fine, and that's hard to say in the while you're going through something. You're gonna be fine, and you know, like I had that talk too, man. I need help, man. Like I don't know what's going on, but it's easy. It's so easy to be in your head and not want help. But like BJ said, if you don't ask for help, it's gonna come back in another way, another form. You might one day just snap. You might one day just cry. You might one day just be like, bro, I don't know what's going on. But it's gonna come out if you like it or not.
And that's a fact, bro. I kid you not. Like in high school until my sophomore year in college, fool, I cried one time. And that's just my brother went to the hospital, some family stuff. I cried one time, one day. I don't know what, like you said, I don't know what it was, man. It just all hit at one time, man. I had to call my sister. I was just getting, you know what I'm saying, vulnerable with y'all. Plus, I got to call my sister-in-law. And out of all people, I guess I didn't want to say my mom's my actual brother or whatever. So I called her and Lou just cried on her shoulder, fool. Like it all came out at one time. It was stuff like that wasn't even that big, but that little bit just, put me over the edge to where it was, like you said, so it's gonna come out, man. So you might as well go ahead and address those emotions head on.
Yeah. And bro, it's gonna come out, especially like you put a lot of pressure on yourself. Like, you know what I'm saying? Not just you going through your life, you put everybody else weight on your shoulders at the same time. The thing, end of the day, you ain't God, right? So
Yeah.
you gonna fold under pressure. You
Hmm.
just a human, you know what I'm saying? You can't endure everybody struggle or burn.
Yeah, that would like pressure make diamonds, but pressure also bites pups, bust pipes too. So
Yeah, yeah, it does.
you know,
That's so true. I mean, just just listening to you all. I mean, I've known some of this obviously, but I mean, it's not easy. Especially we have, people would think, well, you have, great careers, you seem like you're in a good place, but it's when you're behind closed doors, when people don't see you in the public light, that they don't get to see the more vulnerable side of you. And I think that's so important, because even with me, and I'm planning on talking about this at a later date, but I want to talk about it briefly. For those of you who are listening, many of you might know that I had a health scare going into last year that ended up migrating into this year. And even being vulnerable with these brothers right here, who I'm really close with, having the courage to tell them, one, I didn't want to burden them. Two, I didn't want to scare them. And three, I was like, this is kind of like something that's really hard to discuss, because it's an uncomfortable feeling to kind of share some difficult information that's going on in my life. So I'm with you, Johnny. Yeah, I don't want to burden anybody with something that's really difficult to kind of share, if you get what I mean. Another statistic for you: a study from Very Well Health suggests that men are nearly twice as likely as women to be diagnosed with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, also known as ADHD. For full transparency here, I actually have it. And many people who I've explained, that I have ADHD to, say, well, you don't look like someone with ADHD or ADD. It's like, you can't kind of look at someone. Sometimes, in some cases, I guess you can, but in most standpoints, you can't really look at someone and say that they might have a learning disability. So, my next question to y'all before we get ready to wrap up is, what do you think should be a key takeaway from this conversation when it comes to men being willing to be vulnerable and address such a very difficult subject to publicly share with people? Because this is not an easy conversation to have, even in the year of 2025.
I would say a lot of times people think that a lot of men is like we're Superman, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you still Clark Kent, you know what I'm saying? So I all need help. Like I try to check in on all my brothers, man, even though I don't do the best of job, right? And I know I be busy a lot, but I still pray for everybody. Even if I talk to them or not, I want to make sure everybody good. I would say check in. Don't be ashamed to check in on your people. Cause let's be honest, young people, not even older people, people our age are leaving the earth every single day. I did a story about Kyron Lacey, and he passed away. You know, he was going through a lot of issues off the field, but he still ended his life. Young guy, around our age, 23, 24, 25, about to go to the league. So I will say, check in. Everybody, not just on men, but your female friends as well. Everybody needs to be checked on because you don't know when somebody's last day is. You don't know what people are thinking or going through.
Yeah, that's a fact, brother. Really couldn't have said it no better myself. You really don't know when that last conversation is that last conversation, man. So, like Jay Hill just said, man, check up on your people, call your people. It ain't got to be every day, but when it cross your mind, you got a few minutes or whatever. It got to be a long phone call. It could be 30 seconds, a minute, or whatever. Tell people, tell your loved ones that you love them because you never know. Man, I would hate for any of y'all to have to experience some of the things that I've seen that I've gone through. Like again, getting vulnerable real quick. I ain't gonna go real too much deep into detail. But bro, my freshman year, I lost 5 people in 5 months. And I was just like, come on, God, like what's going on? And the thing that I regretted the most out of all of that, because I knew it was going to a better place. That wasn't even a question. But I was just like, man, I feel bad. The last time I was in the city, I ain't go check on them. I ain't call them, and now I can't. So now I gotta tell you I love you through Heaven's Hotline. I can't just call you your regular phone. Now I gotta write it down in prayers and do all this other stuff. And don't wait, man. Give people their flowers while they here, while they can still be around and smell them. Let them know what it is, what it ain't. If it's some beef, man, squash that. Life too short, bro. I promise you, I don't got no beef with nobody. Somebody say they don't like me, that's a personal problem because I don't dislike nobody at all, man. People say, "Why you so calm, man?" Because, bro, I'm blessed. I'm here. I can, we get off the conference with y'all, go play with my son, man. Kick it with y'all. With my family, my loved ones. And I want y'all to do the same thing because you're not alone, bro. So reach out to whoever, because somebody out there, they there for you, man. Even if it's one of us, just let me know something.
Yeah.
But don't wait till it's too late, man.
So true. That's so true. You just never know. You just absolutely never know. I can kind of relate to you with the fact that I ended up losing my grandmother the week of Thanksgiving, and then the following month in December, my grandfather died. I was just like, what's going on? Having deaths back to back, that was so difficult. And even just thinking about it just brings back, some form of sadness and even a little bit of trauma because it just kind of happened out of nowhere. And while my grandmother's health was deteriorating, I did not see, you know, her passing coming the way that it did. So I'm with you 100%. You just never know. Well, gents, I want to thank you again for being here with me. I know this was a very vulnerable conversation to have, and I just appreciate you being willing to share your perspectives on the matter. Thank you.
Yes, sir, man. Thank you for having us on.
Much there, brother, man. Love for real.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I thank you all for joining me for this edition of ATP. To continue to support ATP and other shows, I encourage everyone to download and become a member of the Alive Podcast Network. You'll experience unlimited access to Black hosted content, and we'll be able to continue bringing you uplifting and amazing content week after week. So tell a friend, tell a neighbor, and continue to spread the word about this show and the Alive Podcast Network. Until next time, be blessed, and we'll see you then.